So I've been spending the last couple weeks working on collecting images, and I've actually gotten it up to 670 images. So it's a lot of images that I've looked through. Some of them I've done on my phone, sometimes on the iPad, sometimes on my laptop, sometimes on my desktop. But I've been collecting them into the same collection, which is that cloud collection that we put together earlier. And I wanted to go through the process of paring those down. And then we're going to talk about what project we're going to create. So let's start paring them down. And this might also take you a little while. So you already have your collection, you've already collected your images, and now we're going to start paring those images down, and I want you to do the same thing. So in this case, I'm actually here inside of Lightroom Desktop, so the baby version or the new version of Lightroom, simply because I want to be. I actually like looking at images in the new version of Lightroom on the desktop because it's so pretty. I mean, it's really easy to look at them in full screen like this. So instead of looking at them in kind of a grid form that Lightroom Classic has, this is a really nice way to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off just looking at all 600 images, 670 images together. And what I'm going to do is the first thing I'm going to do is create another collection. So this is your second pass. So I'm going to go in and hit the plus button up here inside of the albums area inside of Lightroom Desktop and click on Create Album. And I'm just going to create another album. We're going to call this Blurb Book Project Pass 2. So this is just our second pass. I'm not going to include anything in it, and I'm going to hit Create. Once I've done that, then I'm going to right click that and I'm going to tell it to be the target album. So now it is the target album, and we're going to, anything that we click the T key, remember in Lightroom Classic it's the B as in boy key, and here it's the T key as in target. So you just have to know which program you're in and use the correct keyboard shortcut, or you can just simply drag them in as well. Now, over the last couple weeks, or I think it's been about 10 days or something, I have come to the conclusion that these images in this book need to be about landscape for sure. And I also know that I want it to be about kind of that cold and vacant nothingness kind of feel. And I've also determined I've kind of come up with a name, and we'll talk about the name in a little bit, but I've got this idea, and it's all about cold, and it's all about landscape, and it's about vacancy and that kind of feel. So I know what I'm going for based on collecting things, and so now I'm going to go in and look for images that I think can sell that concept, that really could be together in a collection. And so here I go. I'm just going to start looking through these images. And I'm going to just start collecting them based on hitting the command key. So I click on an image and then I click on another one holding the command key down so that I'm just selecting a whole bunch of them. Now I know that I might want some verticals, I might want some horizontals. And so I'll collect a couple verticals and horizontals of the same kind of thing. But most of what I want is horizontals. I prefer a horizontal image. So I am just looking through these images based on this concept of maybe cold or empty. And I like the clouds, I like the light coming through on things. Definitely this cold horse here. I'm debating back and forth between people or not, as long as they're just kind of a part of the landscape. So I'll keep some of those, I think. But it doesn't have to be, like for instance, this China photo here that you see. This image is not actually cold. It was actually, I mean, it was chilly in the morning or whatever, but it wasn't cold. But the fog makes it look cold, and the blue tone on the image makes it look cold. And so all I have to do is feel cold with the landscape. I don't necessarily have to actually be cold. And I might use this image as like I don't know, about me page or something. So I'm just gonna, I'm collecting images based on this idea of possible cold and vacant. I love these images here. And I'm just gonna keep collecting images based on that feeling that I have as to what I want to show in this. And then when I get to a point where I feel like I need to go do something or whatever, I can simply grab those and either hit the T key and add them, so I can grab them and drag all of them to this new second pass project like that. So now there's 29 images. Or, and then see how I started a new one. As soon as I clicked on a brand new image, all the other ones got deselected. And so now I'm just gonna start collecting some more images. I could possibly, you know, cool this one down if I wanted to. And so, oh, I like this one from the, this one's from an airplane. It's actually shot with my iPhone. And so that's absolutely fine. I don't necessarily need to use the same camera on everything or the best camera. And so I'm just gonna keep moving through these images, collecting anything that I see that might be valuable in telling the story. I like, this is another iPhone shot, but I like this shot a lot. This is a fairly, this photo I use quite a bit and I like it a lot, so I'll probably keep that one as well. I like the fog pictures here. Again, I might use a person. And so now, instead of dragging the images, I'm gonna hit the T key, and that also adds them. So now I have 42 images. So I'm just gonna keep collecting images, and I'm not necessarily going to do all of this right here. I'm roughly maybe a sixth the way through this collection. And so I'm just gonna go to it on my iPad or on my iPhone or maybe here, and I'll just look inside of that larger album that I've created, and then I'll start putting stuff into the smaller collection. And that'll be my pass 2. And then I'll probably take one more pass at it once I've really honed down to a very small number, maybe 100 or so images. And then I'll probably take it from there down to the total number of images that are going to be in the book. And then when I start designing the book, I might kick some out as well. So we're just constantly going from larger to smaller collections. So that is your next goal, is to make a secondary collection or album and start paring down that larger one. And you might find yourself in a position where you're scrolling through and you find something and you think, oh man, I think there might be more images that I would want to use that are the same as this image. And if that's the case, you can always right-click here inside of Lightroom. And just like on Lightroom Classic, where I showed you how to right-click an image and then go to the images that are in that folder or in that collection, you can also go here and say, I want to see images that are by the same date. So show photos from the same date. And when I do that, it's going to go to all the images and it's going to find that section of images that were shot on that day. And you can say, I want to see images that were shot on this day. You look around, oh, that's not exactly right. But now you have the entire month available to you. Or you might go to the month before that or the month after that. But at least you've found exactly where that photo exists in relationship to other photos that you've taken. And so that's a really good way to find images. But we're going to go back to this blurb project and start scrolling through the rest of the images. Here's all of my Iceland photos, so we're going to start looking for those. Oh, and I wanted to do maybe some historical photos too. Oh, I like this one. That bird looks awful cold. And so we're going to add that one. See how I hit the T key on that one just on one image. And so this one I want to add. Maybe this image. And I'm going to do a kind of a historical photo of this is my mom and her brother. This is like back in Michigan somewhere where it snows a lot. So I'm going to do as much as I can here, but I'm also going to be able to do it on my phone and on my iPad, wherever I happen to be, and I'm going to spend a little bit more time on these, just maybe a day or so, to kind of collect my thoughts and bring them to a smaller group of images, and then we'll go a little bit smaller and a little smaller, and then finally we will put them in the book. So go ahead and make yourself an album or a collection and start collecting from the bigger album or collection into the smaller one, so that we can hone those images down to the very best. And then we're going to go ahead and build an album. We're going to show you in the next videos how to build those albums in Lightroom Classic and also inside of Blurb's own software, which is called Bookwrite. I already decided what I want to do with these images. I'm absolutely convinced that I want to build a photo book, and that photo book is going to be lay flat. And the reason I want it to be lay flat is so that there's no gutter. I don't want to have any kind of a gutter so that it eats up the photograph, because I'm going to do a lot of landscape photos that go all the way across, double truck, all the way across the 2 pages. So I really want to make sure that it's a lay flat book. So that'll be the first book. And then after that, we're going to make a companion book. And that's the companion book that's going to have some writing in it and some details and some behind the scenes stuff. So I can either make a magazine, and it won't be this thick, it'll be kind of a thin magazine to go with it, or I can create a thin book to go with it, and it'll be a trade book. So I want to make something inexpensive, so it's either going to be a magazine or a trade book, so that it's inexpensive, but it'll be a companion book to go with the larger art book. So that's what we're going to create. We'll show you how to do that in the next videos.